Right now at noon, Governor Evers responds to a spike in COVID-19 cases across the state, and particularly on college campuses. And Dane County's 2021 budget will include plans for a multi-million-dollar center to support minority-owned businesses.
This is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in. Don't plan to get rid of your mask just yet. Governor Evers extended his statewide mask mandate this morning for an extra 2 months. Evers also declared a new public health emergency. Our Gabriela Becerra joins us live from downtown Madison now to explain what the new orders mean for you. Gabby?
Hi, Mark. Governor Evers says we're going to have to keep wearing these face coverings because the data shows that they're actually working. But cases are surging. We've seen more than 1,000 new cases each day for a week now, and Evers says many are coming from college campuses. He says young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 have a case rate 5 times higher than any other age group. Because of these numbers, Evers is directing this message towards students. Please wear masks and avoid going out. It's a message echoed by health professionals in our community.
Students can be the leading indicator of what's going to happen in our community, or even younger than kind of the college age. And it's that transmission to parents and grandparents where the health systems really start to worry about their resources in terms of hospitalizations and beds and medications.
Both Dane and Rock County previously said they would initiate their own mask orders if the governor didn't extend the statewide mask mandate. Now, the mask mandate was originally set to expire on Monday, but now both orders are effective immediately and will expire on November 21st unless the governor initiates a different order.
Becerra reporting live from downtown Madison. Thank you, Gabby. Officials with the Janesville School District are extending online instruction for Craig High School and Roosevelt Elementary School. Those closures started last week, Monday, after there were several positive cases in the schools. Online learning was set to last until this Friday, and it's now extended a week through October 2nd. School meals are available for curbside pickup between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Well, it's the first official day of autumn. Let's head to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first WARN forecast kind of summary out there.
It certainly feels that way. Fall officially began at 8:31 this morning. Typically, our average high would be right around 69. Our normal low would be around 47. We started this morning at 59, 12 degrees warmer. We're already at 73 now. Winds are coming out of the south and west at 5 miles per hour. We will continue to watch things warm up. Janesville at 75 right now. We're also at 75 as you work your way over towards Boscobel, but with the exception of Waukesha, all of southern Wisconsin is finding their temperatures into the 70s, and as long as we have sunshine, things will continue to warm up. There were a couple rumbles of thunder in parts of Wisconsin earlier this morning. Those have since fallen apart because our air is so dry. As long as we keep that dry air around, sunshine stays. We're going all the way up towards 77 just through today. We could be closer to 80 as we move into tomorrow. That wildfire smoke stays overhead. We're keeping our highs in the 70s for now, but Mark, we will be changing up that weather pattern, perhaps taking us into October. That'll be the focus of the weather here in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Chris. The Dane County Executive, in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Madison, is announcing a multi-million-dollar effort in the 2021 budget to purchase a site for an economic development hub on Madison's south side.
And the Urban League has been in conversation with several potential partners who have expressed interest in providing technical and financial support to the businesses that might locate on this hub. So there's a lot going on this project, and there's a lot of interest brewing.
The center will be along the South Park Street corridor and will be dedicated to supporting minority-owned businesses. An official site should be selected by the end of the year. Dr. Anthony says there are several anchor tenants who are interested in being part of this space. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin has introduced a Helicopter Tour Safety Act to honor a Madison woman and her 13-year-old daughter. Amy and Jocelyn Gannon died in a helicopter crash in Hawaii in December. According to a preliminary report from the NTSB, visibility at the time of the crash was low due to fog and rain, and the helicopter crashed into a cliff. The bill calls for measures to ensure tour operators and pilots have the information and training necessary to make safer decisions while flying in areas that experiencing rapidly changing weather. President Trump says he will name a Supreme Court replacement for the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg this week. CBS News has learned two of the top contenders are U.S. Court of Appeals judges, Amy Coney Barrett and Barbara Lagoa. Senate Republicans say they'll move swiftly to vote on the nominees, but Democrats point to 2016 when Republicans blocked President Obama's Supreme Court nominee, Merrick Garland, with 8 months until the election.
The president was elected to do this, and the Senate was elected to confirm this nomination.
They made it very clear that if this happens in an election year, that whoever wins the election should be able to decide who the Supreme Court justice is. The people choose the president chooses the nominee.
The fight over Ginsburg's seat on the high court has shaken up the presidential election and energized the bases on both sides. Fill that seat has become a rallying cry on the right, and the Trump campaign even selling T-shirts with the slogan. Democrats have raised more than $100 million since news of Ginsburg's death broke Friday night. Thousands of flags blanket the National Mall in Washington today, honoring the 200,000 Americans killed by the coronavirus. Laura Podesta reports.
Each one of the 20,000 flags near the Washington Monument represents 10 Americans whose deaths are linked to COVID-19. This morning, there was an interfaith memorial service to mourn the lives lost.
It's almost incomprehensible, the level of anguish. To me, it is also incomprehensible that we have no national plan, no national help for our people.
Dozens of volunteers with the COVID-19 Memorial Project placed these flags one by one last night and this morning. They'll remain here until tomorrow night.
Maybe someday we should even have a permanent memorial for the people who lost their lives to COVID.
Nationwide, the average rate of new coronavirus cases has increased to roughly 40,000 per day. Ricardo Aguirre from Phoenix survived his infection, but lost 9 members of his family.
All I know is that my mother's the one that started having the symptoms first. And from there, it was my dad, myself, my wife, my 2 kids, and then my brother.
On Friday, the CDC published a change on its website, announcing that in addition to the virus spreading through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person sneezes or coughs, another way the virus can spread is through aerosols, tiny particles from breathing and talking that can linger in the air longer. But Monday, the federal agency removed the change, saying it was posted by mistake.
I think that there needs to be a conversation whenever there's a change, explain it in detail, because there are a lot of policy implications for changing that guidance.
Dr. David Agus says the guidance put out Friday could have led to requirements for better ventilation systems in hospitals, schools, restaurants, and all indoor spaces. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Washington.
And Dr. Agus also says masks are the best line of defense for both droplets and aerosols. In an email to CBS News, the CDC spokesperson says aerosol transmission is possible, but not the main way that coronavirus spreads. State health officials are recommending against trick-or-treating as usual this Halloween because of the pandemic. DHS says going house to house and having in-person contacts is not a good idea. If individual communities decide they want to go ahead with the tradition, health officials recommend leaving individual treat bags on the porch for children to pick up. At least one Wisconsin community, Anago, has already canceled trick-or-treating. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We've got a homemade fill-you-up dinner that costs less than going through the drive-thru. And it's a lot tastier, too.
The time is right to do something nice for your home. Why not replace your gutters with LeafGuard, the only gutter system that has earned the Good Housekeeping seal of approval? Hi, I'm Andrew Larson, owner of Larson Home Services. LeafGuard's patented one-piece seamless design keeps leaves and debris out, which means no more clogs, guaranteed. LeafGuard carries a lifetime warranty, so your home's foundation will be protected forever, and our customers couldn't be happier.
They're the best. I don't have to worry about the gutters getting clogged up with the seeds, the branches, the dirt, the roof sheddings, and it's just one less worry for me.
And right now, save big on your new LeafGuard brand gutter system and get some incredible extras. Order now and save 75% on installation labor, get free financing for a year, and a $100 Visa gift card. Call to set up your free estimate today.
Comfort Services. Buy one air conditioner and get one gas furnace for only $1,000. BOGOs are back, and it's a beautiful thing.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. Book a free consultation to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
For our seniors, Social Security is a sacred obligation, a sacred promise made. The current president is threatening to break that promise. He's proposing to eliminate a tax that pays for almost half the Social Security without any way of making up for that lost revenue. I will not let that happen. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
My mom was a bank teller, but her hands were so crippled by arthritis she could no longer do her job. She applied for Social Security disability benefits. Like most people, my mom was denied. I'm attorney Don Becker. Don't be embarrassed and don't give up. My mom appealed. You can too. Disability law is all we do.
Call the Becker Law Office, 1-800-254-7766.
Now that the kids are back in school and everyone seems to be getting back into a routine, we find ourselves needing meals that will fill us up, that are fast, and that won't break the bank. Well, nothing is easier or more welcoming than a big pot of soup like the one we're making today. All we do is bring some chicken broth, peeled and diced potatoes, and a bit of chopped onion to a boil. Once it does, we lower the heat and let it simmer until the potatoes are tender. While that's doing its thing, we melt some butter in a skillet and stir in an equal amount of flour to make what is called a roux, which will help thicken our soup. Once we stir that in and it gets all creamy, we add some frozen corn, diced ham, a bit of salt and pepper, and some half and half. A few more minutes and it's time to ring the dinner bell. Maybe serve this with some crusty bread and a salad, and you've got a nice change of pace dinner that's weekday friendly. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our potato corn soup. It's one of those recipes that you'll probably end up putting in the front of your recipe box since everybody loves it. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. Next at noon, sunshine, warm temperatures for the first day of fall. Chris will tell us how long it's going to stick around in your first warm forecast next.
Attention, have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-6755.
Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. The perfect paint for when the nursery becomes the bedroom. That becomes his room. That becomes your favorite room in the house. Paint because you want to, not because you have to. For results that stand up to whatever life brings. Trust Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Exclusively at Menards.
Get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paramount Paint.
I was sworn into the United States Senate in a hospital. My wife and daughter had been killed in an automobile crash. And lying in the bed were my two little boys. I couldn't have imagined what it would have been like if I didn't have insurance to cover them immediately and fully. 40 years later, one of those little boys, my son Bo, was diagnosed with terminal cancer, given months to live. I can't fathom what would have happened if the insurance companies had the power to say, last few months you're on your own. The fact of the matter is, healthcare is personal to me. Obamacare is personal to me. When I see the President of the United States try to eliminate this healthcare in the middle of a public health crisis, that's personal to me too. We've got to build on what we did because every American deserves affordable health care. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Hi, folks. Wednesday morning, we are previewing a visit to the state by the Secretary of State, where our battleground state stands ahead of the November election.
And Hattie's tracking a big change up in the forecast just in time for fall. We'll see you Wednesday morning.
Connect with News 3 Now on Facebook Messenger to create a personalized news feed just for you. The topics you want, the day's top stories, and push alerts for breaking news, all through Messenger. Learn more at channel3000.com.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
A mixed day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials down 25 points. The NASDAQ up 72. And the S&P 500 up 11. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. Happy autumn.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And like you said, the forecast coming up looks like we might have more of that feel come next week. You know, what we're feeling right now in farm country is acceleration. We're really moving forward as far as capitalizing on this warm, dry weather and trying to get the harvest underway. The latest crop progress report shows that as of Sunday, across the state, we had 62% of our corn silage already chopped off. That's 28 days ahead of last year, and we're about 11 days ahead of our 5-year average. So farmers making as much literally hay while they can, so that if the wet weather comes in, that they aren't too terribly far behind. 77% of our corn's called good to excellent. 56% of our soybeans dropping leaves. 79% of our soybeans called good to excellent. 57% of the potatoes are already harvested. Fourth cutting alfalfa, 78% of that's already picked up, and 62% of our pastures are in good to excellent condition. So things definitely much better this year than they were a year ago. You know, the COVID situation on Wisconsin farms continues to persist. Wisconsin Farm Support Program is wrapped up its distribution of the $50 million the governor earmarked specifically for farms. First round, 12,000 farms in 71 counties got $41.6 million. In this latest round, round 2, after they kind of redefined some of the farming logistics, we have 3,300 farms that picked up an additional $8.4 million. So they're all done with the distribution of the Wisconsin Farm Support Program. Dairy markets today in Chicago starting to get a little of that downward push that I expected was coming our way. Barrel cheese is again unchanged today, $163.5. 40-pound block cheese down 4 3/4 cents at $2.60. Apparently, this cheese momentum is all about that farm to families aid package through USDA. Double A butter up 3/4 cent today at $1.62 per pound. So a lot of that federal money still influencing a lot of our product prices, Mark.
All right. Well, enjoy this weather while we can, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Pam. And speaking of the weather, here's Chris with that forecast.
That's right, Mark. First day of fall, and right on cue, there's potential change to the weather pattern that will arrive by the time we get towards this time next week. That 8 to 14-day temperature outlook going from the end of September into October is one that's more than likely going to feature cooler than normal temperatures throughout the eastern half of the country. Something to be mindful of. In fact, here's that 10-day temperature trend. Our average high is 68. We're well above that all the way through Saturday. By Sunday, just above it. Then we're below that into early next week. By Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures may not get out of the 50s for afternoon highs. We've been spoiled, but we were bound for a change sooner or later. High-resolution Doppler continues to remain quiet for us throughout the upper Midwest. All focus, though, is throughout the southern plains. That is where Tropical Storm Beta made landfall last night. By the way, a little historic factoid for you. This is the first time ever that a tropical system in the Greek alphabet has made landfall. But this has brought a lot of heavy rain towards the Houston metro. Now Beta starting to weaken, but we still have a lot of these showers around the area. That's led to a lot of flooding throughout the city of Houston. Still, we have a lot of those flash flood warnings in effect, but I want to show you a lot of just the rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. Most areas picked up about 3 to 5 inches, but my focus is on this area of southwest Houston for a couple of reasons. I'll be honest, this is right where I grew up, but also this is where the heaviest rain is. They're talking 14 inches of rain or 11 inches of rain that has fallen. For reference, back on August 20th, 2018, Western Dane County, your rain totals were very similar to this, but we're putting this on top of a concrete jungle that already deals with flooding if you cry hard enough. So they are certainly having the flooding issues. I've been talking to a lot of my family. They're telling me what's going on. I'll share that on social media later if you want to check it out. But still, those flash flood warnings continue for them. That makes our weather seem like something to certainly be thankful for. A little bit of haze out there, staying warm this week. There are a couple of rain chances, though. We have had to increase those, especially in that extended forecast. For now, high pressure remains in control. There was a cold front towards the north. That cold front is now weakening. It's falling apart, so we're never truly going to see that change in wind direction, but we're also never really going to see anything in the form of rain. 77 for a high today. Winds are actually going to stay out of the south. That keeps us mild overnight tonight with an overnight low right around 56. Tomorrow, we're a couple degrees warmer. Look for those highs into the upper 70s. Some of us actually have a chance to be around 80, but then by Thursday, there's actually a little rain chance that begins to come our direction. That'll be a little reinforcing shot of some cooler air, but a better rain chance actually comes our direction, not Thursday, but Saturday into Sunday. That's when we could see the most widespread rain that comes with some cooler temperatures, along with some rain chances Monday and Tuesday next week as well. Still, most of this forecast is dry. We'll call it 60%. All dry, 6 out of the 10 days there. But we do have those rain chances next weekend and to early next week, followed by the cooler temperatures, Mark.
A few sprinkles of miles this morning.
Yeah, no, a couple,
I'm surprised.
A couple rumbles of thunder out as well.
Really?
A lot of that didn't reach the ground just because of how dry we were, but a few lucky spots did get a sprinkle.
Yeah. All right, Chris, thank you. Next at noon, get your diet and nutrition questions ready. UW Health dietitian Michelle Schwader is ready to take your calls at 270-9933. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
My son Beckett was 2 years old when he was diagnosed with leukemia. He would get sick. Aubrey would take him to the bathroom and she would rub his back. Our family is fighting this every single day. If Donald Trump gets rid of our healthcare law, my son won't be protected. We would have to be making some tough decisions about what medications we can afford. We need a president who will protect our healthcare, and that's Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane. It's always right there. Just boom.
It was easy to connect all of my devices, and I was able to find a plan that was affordable for me.
I'm saving money, and I'm even getting more speed.
Get the speed you need to do all the things you love on all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits. Switch now for $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
With Spectrum TV, the picture quality is incredible. I feel like I'm in the movie.
The amount of stuff available on Spectrum On Demand is just never ending.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
Spectrum gives me the best deal no matter what.
Every day I'm saving money.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Ask about our easy self-install options to install your new services yourself. Call 833-918-4499.
Wouldn't it be nice to not have to deal with your messy gutters anymore? Leave that nasty chore in the rearview mirror with a new Leaf Guard gutter system. Hi, I'm Andrew Larson, owner of Larson Home Services. My team would love to show you how Leaf Guard's patented design keeps leaves and debris out so you can give up cleaning your gutters forever. And now is the best time to get Leaf Guard. Order now and save 75% on installation labor, free financing for a year, and a $100 Visa gift card. Call to set up your free estimate today.
Comfort Services, buy one air conditioner and get one gas furnace for only $1,000. BOGOs are back, and it's a beautiful thing.
Michelle Schwader, dietitian at UW Health, is here taking your diet and nutrition questions at 270-9933. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. You know, everybody's at home now. A lot of kids are home, parents are at home, and they're running out of meal ideas. You got some ideas, some thoughts?
Right, yes. And I think the key is to keep an eye towards the pre-planning and the prepping. If you allow yourself some advance notice, you really can open up your options of what you can make. So you have a little bit more time. You can make something a little more, not fancy, but something a little bit more involved than just a sandwich.
Things like what?
So one of the things, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Things like what?
Well, a lot of times you can still keep it simple by doing just like an egg salad, a tuna salad, or a chicken salad, and those can easily be leftovers that you can just eat out of a bowl or make into a sandwich or a wrap. Once the weather does get colder, people can be making more casseroles, and that way you can store and reheat them pretty easily.
You have quesadillas and stews and soups and salads, all good stuff.
Yeah, and some of those soups and salads would be a little bit sloppy to carry if you were going to school or work, so it's a little bit more convenient to just pop into the kitchen and eat them.
Yeah, everybody looking for some alternatives.
Right.
All right, let's go to the calls, and we'll start with Tom in Middleton. Hi, Tom. What's your question?
Hi.
What's your question, Tom?
I'm recovering from leukemia, cancer, nearly undetectable. Recently had a kidney transplant. All the doctors say I must stay hydrated. I can't drink enough water, but they suggest I take some water with alkaline nutrients, etc. What's the best water for that type of conditions that we all have going through surgeries?
Right. Well, I think everybody's a little bit concerned about the water quality these days, obviously, with wanting to make sure our water is safe and clean. So a lot of people do go to buying bottled water. You want to make sure that you're looking for something that is treated the way you want. So if you're looking for non-chlorinated or you're looking for chlorinated, obviously that has an impact on the environment if you buy a lot of bottles. So some people will go to a home filtration system, and then you can get really fancy. They have reverse osmosis and things where you can really purify your water. So I think it matters what you're looking for, and definitely reading the package and make sure that the bottled water that you're buying isn't really just tap water rebottled and sold, that it's actually been treated in the way that you're looking for.
So you actually recommend bottled water?
If only for the effect on the environment, I would recommend tap. But if you can find a filter and filter your tap water, that might be the best solution, because then you're avoiding all that plastic.
All right, let's go to Lydia now from Madison. Hi, Lydia. What's your question?
Well, my question is that, you know, I love, you know, little tiny red skin potatoes, and I have to watch my carbs. And I do, but that's one that's really hard, you know, and I have been eating a lot of, I joined a co-op, that helps, but it's really hard because, I don't crave like sugar or chocolate or anything like that. I crave more like...
Lydia, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. We're out of time.
Oh,
I'm sorry, okay? Michelle, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, here's Chris with one final check of the forecast.
Sunshine sticks around going through today, tomorrow, and the next day. Temperatures, they're gradually going to get a couple degrees warmer as well. 77 for that high today. It's 79 for Wednesday. Rain chances arrive by the weekend. Cooler for next week.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.